Hi there, I'm Nancy from Black Sheep Knitting. Welcome back to those of you who have been following me on YouTube in my podcasts. I try to do one every week, and we try to provide information for you and inspiration. So I thank you for watching. Do subscribe and like us on Facebook. That helps us a great deal. Today I was going to do, and you've seen me do this once before, once or twice, is we're going to open a box. So I had something come to the shop the other day, and I thought it'd be fun to look at it. And I'm pretty sure it's an order of Rios from Malabrigo, which Malabrigo, if you don't know this yarn, it's hand-dyed in Uruguay. And they have just fabulous colors and fabulous yarn. I'm going to try not to stab myself, which wouldn't be fun. So I thought we'd just take a look at what's in here. And of course, I was going to try not to get up, but I think I have to. So, all right. So, what's in the box today is some gorgeous Rios. This is called Bobby Blue. Rios is a worsted weight superwash yarn, and it is super soft, and it's wonderful for any kind of knitting where you want to see detail. If you want, for cables and that kind of thing. Great for color work as well. So that was Bobby Blue. This one is called Hollyhock. Ooh. Gorgeous sort of magenta color. We have Fog, which I love this color. It's a tonal pale. It borders on grayish, pinkish, beige color. Just beautiful, beautiful color. And some lavender. And this one is one of our shop favorites called Ravelry Red. And if you like red, this is the red for you, really. We have Paris Nights, which is a gorgeous blue, dark navy blue. And we have this one I think is so fun. It's called Sunset. And I'm really into this color lately. I think it's really pretty. It speaks of fall, and it goes with a lot of other colors. I love this with a charcoal gray, which is one of my favorite duos. And I think there are just a couple more colors in here. This one is called Hojas, which is greens and blues. Very pretty. Nice for scarves and hats and cowls. And then let's see if there's anything else. Oh, here's another one that is fun as Glazed Carrot. How about these two together in something? I could see a sweater, like a color block sweater, I think would be great fun in these colors. You could add a touch of navy blue with the Paris Nights, would be fun. And here's another favorite of mine. You can tell I like these brights. This is called Apple Green. Beautiful. That looks gorgeous with the, if you want to be funky. This relates to something I'm going to talk about in a few minutes. And then, there's I think one more. And I'm going to dig down to the bottom to get. And this is called Gris. Gris, and that's a gray, beautiful gray. So, that was what was in the box. I have a bunch of other things, just little things for today. One thing is a favorite thing, or a tip, and I'm going to show it to you on my phone because the ones I have at home are no longer in the box. But it's called a color catcher. So if you're washing or getting ready to block something, particularly a hand dye or something that's color work, if you put in one of these color catcher sheets, it it draws out any color that's in the water, and instead of it going into your fabric, it goes into the little sheet. So this is what it is. You can get them on Amazon or in the grocery store, called color catchers. And I do this now in my washing machine when I'm washing colored clothes, and I'm shocked sometimes how full of color this sheet is. It looks like a dryer sheet, and you put it in. So I put it in the washer or in the sink when I'm washing my sweaters. So that's a good little hint. So something new we got into the shop, well, not new, we got in again, are the Cocoa Knits Knitter's Block. And these I find are the most wonderful kits or blocking kits, because they, of course, they fit in. You can see the these two teeth, and they fit in. You could make it any shape you want, and it comes with 2, 4, 6, 20 blocks, I think. So it's plenty to block your. I've never felt like I needed more, I don't think. And it comes with this handy fabric that has 1-inch squares. So you can put that on top of the blocks, and then you can block, if you have to block to certain measurements, you can just do it by the squares. And it also comes with blocking pins. So this fabric, or this material that this is made of, is one of those things that heals itself. You know, if you stick a pin in it, the hole sort of goes away. So that's what these do. And so these are the blocking pins that come with it. And one of the things I like about this, more than, sort of, there are other ones that you can get. We've had other ones. But this has a fabric on it. And I find that I can lay things out to block without even pinning them sometimes, because it really sticks to this. It also allows some air to get underneath and allows your pieces to dry more quickly. So I highly recommend it. We have quite a few in the shop, and I think we'll have them online. That I'm not entirely sure of. But having shown you this, I have another thing to recommend to use for blocking, are the knit blockers. And I think you can see what they look like. I didn't want to open it because they're packaged. But I use these all the time, and they're a plastic piece, which you can see right here, with prongs. And so you can knit, you can block large segments of your piece, and you just stick it into the board, the blocking board, and they're great. In fact, I'm about to get myself a second set, because sometimes I need more than what's in here. And they come in smaller sizes. You can see here a small size and then a larger size. So they have both in here. Highly recommend this. I couldn't block without it. I don't use the pins, though they, sometimes they're helpful. But this is great because it takes up a big space. The other thing I wanted to talk about, you know the expression, the third time is the charm? So any of you who've been following me, maybe on Instagram, or I might have shown it here, I'm doing the Alpenglow, the Andrea Mowry Rhinebeck sweater. And you may remember that I started out with a light gray as my background color, and I think I had a dyed-in-the-wool, spin cycle dyed-in-the-wool that had some navy blue in it. Just, that didn't work for me. So I took it out and got this other colorway, which is, now of course I can't remember which one it is. I don't remember which one it is, and so I'll have to, here it is. So, and I forget which of the dyed-in-the-wool it is, but as it turns out, that worked really well with my other colors, which is, this is sueño and this is moondrake, suri, alpaca, and silk. But the gray, it just didn't pop enough. So I have been dyeing some sport weights, and I remembered I had done a navy blue. So I ran down to my basement, got that, and tore out the light gray, and this is what I've come up with. And I just think the third time is the charm. I'm just loving making this. So if you're doing it and planning on doing it, make sure that your contrasting color really pops. Unless you want it to sort of blend in, I'm the kind of person who likes a little bit more of a pop of things. So I've found I'm at the end of the color work now, and I'm ready to do the main color work. And I'm ready to get into the body of the sweater. So it's a lot of fun. If you haven't gotten your kit yet or started one, I recommend it. And a reminder that we do a knit along on Friday afternoons at 3. You're welcome to come. Doesn't cost anything. Just show up. And lastly, may not be lastly, I'll think of something else, but I wanted to talk about 2 podcasts that I've watched recently. One that just inspired me and one that made me very envious. The one that made me very envious is called Young Folk Knits. And it's a woman who is in Arkansas, lives on a farm with her family, and she just has this beautiful aesthetic. Her podcast is crisp and clean and full of gorgeous graphics, and she's just charming. And I like what she knits. I like she has little tutorials, and she's just spirited and full of fun. So I definitely recommend hers, and she's got a few tutorials that are quite good. And secondly, the other one that I just binged on the other night while I was knitting is Stephen West. It's called West Knits, and those of you who know him as a designer know that he's a very flamboyant guy who lives in Amsterdam and has a yarn shop, but he's a big designer, and most of you have done at least one of his designs, and they range from small shawls, which he began with. Probably one of the most famous ones is Boneyard, that we've done that a ton in this shop, and then all the way up to his huge ones like Exploration Station and a few others. He to me is who in a way I'd like to be. He just lives his life to the fullest. He is so energetic and in love with what he does. I just found him incredibly inspiring. I'm not into his aesthetic in a way. His colors are not my colors at all. Parts of them are. But his designs, I think, are so interesting. And if you watch his podcast, he talks about how his design process, and he talks about how he kind of lives his life. He knits, says on the weekend, some days on a weekend, he knits 8 hours a day. He has 2 wonderful little French bulldogs named Brioche and Stitch, which I thought was quite cute. And he was saying, somebody was interviewing him, and he was saying that they asked if he had made friends in Amsterdam, where he now lives. He's originally from Oklahoma. And he said, yeah, most of my friends are knitting friends. And I think that a lot of us, for me, that's true. A lot of my good friends, well, not my best friends, but a lot of my very good friends are from knitting. And I love that about knitting, that you can make friends and you have knitting to talk about and your love of knitting and new designs. And that seems to be Stephen West wrapped up in a ball. He's just, that's a silly pun, sorry, or anyway, excuse that. But I just think it's worth a watch. He's so charming, and I've seen him at a lot of fiber shows. He's so approachable. If you went up and talked to him, he'd talk to you like you were his best friend. He's just a lovely human being, and so full of ideas and skills that are just amazing. And his philosophy on life I related to a lot, about, doing what I want to do and being passionate about it and using my creativity to bring joy into my life and into others. So that said, try those out. There are many other podcasts, and if you're like me, you get tired of the same old stuff on television. So I like to learn something when I'm watching TV. So watching podcasts, knitting podcasts, are what I like to do. Just a reminder that the yarn crawl is coming up, the Greater Boston Yarn Crawl. We will have gift baskets here that you can take a chance on winning. We give out a basket each. We pick a winner each day, Thursday through Sunday, and then we have one large grand prize. And I believe there's another grand prize that you can win if you turn in your passports. I think there's information about how to do that. We'll find that. We'll have passports by tomorrow in the shop, so if you want to come by and pick up one, it has a map and it'll show you where to go. So think about blocking off, get one of those days. It's September 29th to October 2nd. And normally our shop opens at 1, but we'll be open Thursday, Friday, Saturday at 10 o'clock, so you can come in the morning. So I hope you have a great week of knitting. The weather is absolutely fabulous right here. There's a bit of a nip in the air in the morning, which makes me want to knit even more. So happy knitting, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.